Okay, welcome to Only Tax, where we give you the naked truth about how taxes work. So this week's Only Tax question comes from one of our subscribers. They're asking, what is my favorite tax hack? That's such a great question. Because the answer is, it depends. Because every client's situation is different. Every client's tax situation is different. So then therefore, my favorite tax hack is whatever is going to save the client the most money. So the whole moral to the story is that when it comes to taxes, tax planning, tax strategies, there is no cookie cutter blanket solution for people's tax situation. You need to look at things holistically, right? You need to see, okay, is this client a business owner? What kind of business do they have? Do they have an LLC? Do they have a sole proprietorship? Are they paying too much in self-employment tax? Do we need to reduce that by either changing the entity type and having them lower their self-employment tax? Or do we need to consider, is this client a super high tax bracket client? And should we look into totally removing that particular income from their personal tax return? Because if yes, then we'll look at a C corp. Also, is this client a real estate investor? If yes, will it help them if they were able to offset their active W-2 income with passive losses? If yes, let's look at how can we do that? Should they buy a short-term rental? Should their wife try to qualify as a real estate professional? Should they look into doing a cost segregation? Do they have children? Should we see if we can have their children work for their business? Because you're going to give your children money anyway, right? So might as well, first of all, teach them the value of money by having them work for your business, but also you're able to shift some of that income to a lower tax bracket for your kids. So whatever tax strategy fits the client's situation that will save them the most in taxes, that is my favorite tax hack at that particular time. So if you have any questions, or even better, if you want to have one of your questions answered in a future episode of Only Tax, please join our free Facebook group, REI Tax Hack. Post your question there, and you never know, we might answer that in a future episode of Only Tax, where we give you the naked truth about how taxes work.